Alright, so how to do cutouts. When it comes to doing a cutout for the subwoofers on the baffle, doing multiple layers, flush mount, whatever, first you need to know the cutout of your sub, and then when I design up the enclosure, I'll measure, and I will measure for the center of the hole. Whereas this one, for me, was 7 inches over and 7.5 down. Now, the reason why it's where it is because the port wall behind here is 14 inches. Half of that is 7. So then this will keep the sub loading directly across from that port wall for even loading, as well as the wall in front of it. And then 7.5 down is, of course, the middle, because this is 15 inches tall. So 7.5 is the middle. So it's the middle of the baffle, and then this will keep it directly in the middle of the port wall behind it for good loading. So on this is a plunge router, which means that what you do is when you turn it on, you can push it down to a certain depth. You have a gauge here that'll control just how far deep it'll go. And the idea is to have it, just go far enough through the wood here, a little bit further than the wood, to cut on through it, of course. And then you don't want a whole lot of overhang, because if you do, then you're just going to burn up your bit cutting extra wood that you don't need to. And so what I do is I use one of my scrap pieces that I used to do my big cuts on, and I have it underneath, so that way when the bit goes through a little bit, then it just chews up the scrap wood and not my table. And so then I put 2 screws in here to hold it, because if you only do one, it can twist on you when you get close to getting done. So 2 kind of helps hold it in place. And then, of course, I clamp down this bottom piece to the table, and then I screw that to that piece. And so on the plunge router, this is something that's additional that you have to get. This is called a Jasper, and it's a 200 model. They make different sizes, different models, but for what I need, this works. And so for me, I need a hole that's a touch above 11 inches in diameter. So what I'll do is I'll go onto my Jasper jig, and I'll find the 11-inch hole, and then the next size up, which is 1/16. Every dot is a 16th inch interval. And so I do 11, and then I go up 1 for 1/16. And so now when I put this guide into the hole that I've drilled out, and then I have it set to the right depth when it plunges and goes down into the wood, I just go around in a circle, and it'll cut out this diameter hole, whatever diameter that you need, from your guide hole all the way around. And so that's how I do all of my cutouts for the subs.